G'day guys and welcome to the Goodyear Autocare Warana V8-T2 series. We come to you from the land down under. That's right, we're in Australia for the Melbourne Hydrographics Depot at Oran Park for the 100-kilometre race, 38 laps tonight. We're currently 45k southwest of Sydney in the virtual world. Obviously in the real world, it's now decided to turn into a housing estate, and Oran Park is now non-existent, which is a bit unfortunate. But awesome race up ahead, guys. Joining me tonight in the commentary booth is Aidan Schultz, the man himself, mate. How are you?
Good evening, Matt. Thank you for having me. This is amazing tonight at Oran Park Raceway, 2.6 kilometre racetrack. This is going to be amazing after the first two rounds and what we've seen. I'm looking forward to what the drivers put on the table tonight.
Mate, it's going to be action-packed. I'm looking forward to it. Buckled up in the seats tonight because I know it's going to be full of action. As you said, it's only 2.6Ks. It's a tight little track. The boys tonight, they're a little bit fuel restricted. They've got a 57-litre tank capacity and roughly burning around 2.2 litres a lap. So it's going to be an interesting race. Hopefully they don't burn too much. They don't have to fuel save too much. But by the looks of it, track temps at the moment, they're sitting around 50 degrees in qualifying as we start to round out towards the end of it. Here, I think we've got about 15 minutes to go. So some good times being posted up so far. But mate, I can't wait to get into it. So let's go see how the boys are going out on track, and let's see some times that they've posted, hey?
Yeah, most definitely. This track is very tricky, very tight, very hard to pass. So qualifying is going to be very important for these guys because track position will be key around here. There are a couple of tricky corners which they're going to have to navigate their way around. But qualifying here is definitely going to need to be key because track position will be 100% important.
Yeah, mate, track position around here, it's tight, it's technical. Elevation change is a big one at Oran Park. So getting into some clean air for qualifying is a little bit hard. We've got a 40 car field tonight, so it's definitely a big one. It's definitely hard to get some clean air. Not many straights either, Aiden, so it's going to make it hard to pass around here.
Yeah, most definitely. I think where they're going to be looking to pass is into turn two, but in turn two is really hard as well because the car can get really unsettled under brakes. So into turn two will be a really good passing opportunity, but if you want to do it, you want to commit to it early. Another one is going to be coming into the last corner onto the straight. Outside of that, it's pretty much follow the leader, because if you want to put your car in a wrong position there, it only takes one driver to not understand where you are and you're going to be ended up in the fence. So I think those two corners are going to be the ones that you're going to watch where you're going to do passing. But like I said just before, it's going to be really important for track position because you need to make sure that you don't have to worry about fighting mid-pack and worrying about those dive bomb moves and everyone coming around you, because people are going to want to make the move early.
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully they sort themselves out nice and early on in the race and form a single line, get through the first lap nice and clean, get those tyres up to temp. It's a tricky track on cold tyres around here, especially coming over, as you just saw, Yokohama Bridge there. The car really likes to almost lift off all four wheels coming over that as you're coming through there in third gear and turn it to the right. So it's definitely tricky. A lot of car sliding is going to be happening, especially coming through the S's right here, coming into the last corner, coming onto the main straight. So, but we do have a little treat tonight, mate. I was chatting with one of the boys a little bit earlier on, our championship point leader, Mr. David Nash. He put his hand up and he reached out and he said, hey, look, how about we do a little bit of a hot lap later on in the qualifying session and give the viewers a little bit of a insight to what it's like to actually sit shotgun in the 650 horsepower supercar and go for a lap around Oran Park. So that's going to be a bit exciting, mate.
Yeah, can't wait for that. David has done an amazing job in the first two races of the year. He has driven a really steady race, so let's jump in and have a look at a lap with David Nash.
Right. We've got David Nash out on screen at the moment. He's coming up through the S's. So, Dave, we'll hand the reins over to you, mate. We'll let you do a quick flying lap, and on your in lap, I guess we'll we'll have a bit of a chat, mate, and about your qualifying so far. So you've got the floor, mate.
All right, Oran Park, as Scapey said once, it's like racing around your clothesline. We're going to hit 6th. We want to, on the brakes, down to second here. You want to turn it into that apex. You do want to be squeezed on the throttle to 3rd, back up to 4th, hard on the brakes again, down to 2nd, get into that apex. We're to be smooth out here, don't hit those bumps, back into 2nd, under the bridge, the hardest part of the track right here. You want to click it into 3rd and you want to turn in right about here, trail the brake in, push to the outside of the track, brake again. You want to go half the car over that curb there. You want to 4th, back into 3rd, over that there, easy on the accelerator. Now over to the blind chicane, turn it over, and then hard on the brakes again, back down to 2nd. Keep it inside that apex, don't do what I did. Push it to the outside of the wall. There's your lap.
Guys, how was that? Our championship leader, David Nash, in the 911 Right Sim Racing entry, taking us for a flying lap around Oran Park in Sydney. Now, Dave, you currently are sitting down the order there in 19th, mate. Probably not where we want to be right now. Obviously, what's it like out on track? It looks pretty tough out there, so give us a quick rundown.
Busy, very, very busy. The pit exit into turn 1, you're going as fast as you can. Cars are pulling out. That's no excuse of mine tonight. My excuse is just, I struggle at this track. I can put my hand up and say that. Race pace is a bit different. Hoping to make top 10. That's my aim. Maybe pit early, undercut, and go from there.
David, it's Aidan here. Thank you for making yourself available tonight to do that for the viewers, because that brings a whole new level to the broadcast and it helps the viewers understand what the track is doing. The fact that you made yourself available and in a qualifying session to be able to show the viewers what you're doing. Driving's hard enough, let alone talking at the same time. So really amazing job, and thank you for making yourself available, mate.
Not a problem.
All the best in the race tonight, Dave, and hopefully you bring it home in one piece.
Thanks.
Righto, guys, how was that? The championship leader, Mr. Nash, giving us a rundown of Oran Park. So big thank you to him for that. Aidan, I guess it's your time to shine, mate. This is your favourite part of the track notes, so I guess I'll hand it over to you for the sponsors and the track notes and to give us a rundown of what's happening tonight.
Yeah, so tonight, guys, we're at Oran Park Raceway. It's 2.6 kilometres in length. We're going to run 38 laps, which is a total distance of 100 kilometres. There's a fuel restriction of 57 litres with a mandatory pit stop of 1. Average fuel burn will be 2.2 litres per lap. They have no tyre limit, so if something happens, they can keep taking more tyres. So if the race does go longer and there's more cautions and stuff like that, some people from the back might be able to challenge. The air temp is 26 degrees. Track temp is hot at 50 degrees. We've got a wind speed of 2 kilometres an hour at northern direction. Some of the sponsors that we want to thank tonight are Coghlan Engineering, Blue Stampede, Labour Hire, Abruzzi Wastewear, NTS Tracking Systems, and I think I've forgot a couple here, guys, and you'll have to apologise, and Matt, you might have to jump in there. I'm just struggling to read my notes.
That's right, mate. We've got the Goodyear Autocare Warana as our main sponsor here for the V8-T2 E-Series here, guys, as well as the man himself, JP from SimShed Broadcasting, bringing it all to you on your phones, on your computers at home, wherever you're sitting, maybe in the car. We hope not. Shouldn't be watching while you're driving. But there's plenty more sponsors that we'll be bringing out throughout the night and mentioning. Also, track cams for Gourmet, the amazing views that you're getting on your screens, guys. It's all from track cams from Gourmet. So those guys doing an amazing job with bringing you these camera angles, and boy, do they have some amazing camera angles, Aidan.
Yeah, and like I've said, without these guys, this series would not be available. And I know I made you come in and help me out and reading them out because there's a lot going on right now. But yeah, without these guys, this wouldn't be able to happen. So thank you for all these guys. Everyone that watches this stream, please go on and support these guys on Facebook, on their web pages, and support them, because without these guys, this does not happen. So jump on there, make sure you support them, because if we don't have them, you don't have this type of content.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Now, guys, it's the third round for the Goodyear Autocare Warana V8-T2 E-Series. The championship is heating right up. Our hot lap guru, David Nash, our championship leader, out on top with 296 points, followed up by the young Rehan Leonard with 290 points. Sam Noble had a good outing last week with 282 points. Scholesy, 281 points in fourth position. Tony Gaffer down there in 276. Nicky G, the man himself, also the chief steward of the Super Series, down in sixth with the 275 points. We've got Daryl Hockey with 270, Dean Alessi with 268, Jonathan Ben with 264, and Aaron Raccanello with 262. We'll let the page roll on here. That was the top 10. We'll see. We'll go to the top 20 here. We've got McCarthy, Sloggett, Stevens, Sadler, Bradbury, Losh, Latham, Hayden, Casper, and Cairns rounding out the top 20 on that one. And we might as well flick to the next page. We'll get through them all, let you guys see. We've got Gerland, Booth, Clark, Foster, Georgeson, Antoniadis. I've got it right this time, Aiden. Second go right there.
we might have to nickname him Peter A.
Yeah, Pete. I reckon I'm just going to start calling him Petey, I reckon, mate, because that last name's a tongue twister.
Yeah,
we've got Raw, Reddit, Dalton, and Legard in the top 30. Starting to come down to the bottom end of the championship standings here, guys. We've got Black on 114, Vassell on 108, Kelly on 100, Bruns on 96, Johnston on 94. I actually found out he's from one of my teammates from E1 Sim Racing, so he actually had pedal troubles the past couple of weeks, so lucky enough for him, Simworks hightailed a set of brand new pedals out to him, so look out for him tonight, mate. He's sitting down in 24th at the moment, so in qualifying, so hopefully he can make amends and make a good move tonight and get a good position and make up some more points. Your favourite entry, mate, the Century Motorsports KFC entry of Stephen Martin down there in 36 with 92 points. We've got Todd Martin, Craig Gurry, Adam Neal, and Darren Roberts rounding out the top 40. So it's heating up at the end of qualifying, guys. We've just had Hockey post the fastest lap of the session with a 106.03. Not far behind him, a hundredths of a second down, is Mr. Nicky G with a 106.03 or 04 on my screen, 03 with iRacing. So a little bit of a glitch there, but the boys are absolutely on fire tonight. As you can see, the top 5 are separated by no more than a tenth of a second, Adam.
Yeah, and agreed, Matt. And if you have a look a little bit further down, we got a 106.02 at the top at the moment, but 0.2 of a second separates the top 10, and that's them doing laps in qualifying. So when they're racing, this is going to tighten up really, really quickly, and it's going to be the racecraft and interesting to see how they transition that and where they make their moves, because and if you even go all the way down, like there's nothing between the whole field. This track just creates amazing racing, and it's going to be so exciting for the viewers and for us to commentate tonight, to be behind there and watch and see what happens, because this is going to be unbelievable. And like we said, the first 2 rounds, amazing. We've got some of the usual players at the front, but then we also don't have some of the usual players at the front too. So are they going to consolidate, or are they going to try hard?
Well, in saying that, mate, it's Dylan Pereira. He's down there in 9th position at the moment. He's actually a newcomer to the series, and he's also new to supercars. Apparently, I've been told in the hours leading up to this, he was just getting set up yesterday with the push to talk buttons for to contact race control and everything like that. So he's a very fresh driver coming into a field of the boys who have been here racing already for 2 rounds, and he's already showing it up to him. He's posted up there in 9th with a 106.2, and he looks like he's going to be having a good race if he can manage those tyres.
Yeah, we saw that in practice. We were talking about that off air earlier, just having a look at how he was going. And for him to be doing that at this stage is absolutely unbelievable. I remember round one, we had a very similar conversation with young Leonage, or about young Leonage, with what he was doing. So he's going to be a force to reckon with. But like we said in the first round with Leonage, whether he was going to be able to transition that into a race. And he's been able to do that twice now. So it's going to be interesting to see how he goes coming in, and to be able to, he's got really good race pace. Or lap pace rather. It's going to be interesting to see how he transitions that into a race and see whether he can do that, because we all know we're all racers. We all do it. It's okay being fast, but when you've got a lot of cars around you and a lot of people in your mirrors, are you going to be able to keep the head on your shoulders?
That's exactly right, mate. And as we cross over and flick screens, we've got the drivers lining up on the grid. So we'll take you through the rundown. We've got Mr. Hockey and Nicky G rounding out the front row there. Those boys were quick all qualifying session. We've got Clark, Stevens, Reddit, Sloggett, Kai Noble, Rian Leonage all the way down in 8th, the young gun. He didn't have a good qualifying session. Maybe this might not be one of his favourite tracks, but we're hoping he has a good race. We've got Pereira, Scholes, Campbell, and McCarthy locking out top 12 there. We've got Braw, Racanello, Alessi, Cairns, Gaffer, Latham, Nash, Martin, Dalton, Ben, Bradbury, and Vassell rounding out the top 24. Johnson, Losh, Bruns, Hayden, Casper, Antoniadis, got it again. That's a shout out to me for that one. Booth, Kelly, Lagarde, Georgeson, Gerlin, and Foster. And I believe that is all for tonight. No, we've got more. It's a big field tonight, but we've got Black Martin rounding out the field tonight. And obviously, our main safety car driver in the Goodyear Autocare Warana Lamborghini is Craig Schultz. So looks like everyone's on the grid. Little final preps going on. Drivers checking all their brake biases. Big brake bias around here. They're going to be flicking around with it a fair bit. Same with the anti-roll bars. It's fixed setup, so they can't move them, unfortunately. They'll be sussing out track temps, getting a feel, getting comfortable in the seats, waiting for the lights to come on.
The nerves would be high here for the drivers here, Matt. The nerves would be high. The turn one's going to be really important for their race.
And it's a fast turn one at Aiden. So here we go, guys. Lights are up. Revs are rising. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights. Revs are high, ready to go for the Oran Park, Melbourne Hydrographics, Oran Park 100, and the drivers are away. Looks like Hockey got an absolute screamer. Down into turn one they go. Looks like it's all clean. Down into turn two, dropping down the gears. And Hockey is pulling away easily, 5 lengths over the field already. He is on fire. Fired up by Shane Clark from the Melbourne Hydrographics Depot, entry in second. He got an absolute hurler of a start. Down up into Yokohama Bridge they go. Little tricky elevation change. Down into the dip. Loads the car right up. Then it lifts right off the ground. Round to the right they go. Coming down into the dip. Into the right. Into the left. Throwing the car around. Cold tyres. Car's going to be sliding everywhere. Easy on the power as they go out. Looks like everyone's clean. Everyone's made it through. Coming up into the blind S's. Coming to the final corner. Out onto the main straight. Hockey has pulled a gap. He is nearly a second out over Clark. Aiden?
Yeah, and that was an amazing start by Hockey. Amazing start. It got a little bit wild at the back. They were going 3 wide off the start. A couple of guys nuffed their start, as I'd like to call it, and got a little bit too much wheel spin, but it was really good driving by all the drivers to not create an incident there. So they've got through the first lap. They'll all be settling in now, trying to get their rhythm and get their race pace and see where they're sitting in the rest of the field.
Yeah, well, mate, I'm going to cut you off there, mate. There is big news. Our championship leader, David Nash, in the pits getting a repair. So that's big news. He's had an absolute shocker of a start, and by the looks of it, we've got your favourite entry, the KFC. He's in the pits with a smoking engine. Stephen Martin, by the looks of it, So let's see if we can get a replay of this of Nash or Martin up on screen for you guys at home. Nash in the 911 comes out around the outside to turn 2. 3 wide and just bump and grind, bang, there they all go.
And here I was speaking too soon, thinking they got through lap 1. We couldn't see all that when we were broadcasting, so I do apologise for the viewers, but that was really unfortunate for those guys.
Yeah, by the looks of it, I think, if I'm looking down the order, he collected young Leonage because he is nowhere at the top of the field. Yep, Rehan Leonage down 28 positions in 36. He is the big news of the race here. Rehan Leonage, the young contender for the championship, all the way down in 36th position after that incident with the championship leader, David Nash. So I wonder if Nash and Leonage can make amends on this one.
Well,
and come back.
Regardless, Matt, this is a really good game, a really big game changer for the series because the top 2 in the championship have just been involved in an incident to put them a long way back. So it's only a 38-lap race, and whether they've got to have repairs or, you know, where they're going to be, it's going to be really hard for them to come back. So tonight it's going to just be about saving a position and doing as well as they can. So we're probably going to see a different winner tonight, but I tell you what, the championship's going to be changing, and it's already changed on the first lap of 38 laps.
That's it, mate. And everybody at home, you might think that 38 laps, as long as we've got car 303 off in the background there. 38 laps is not long at all around Oran Park. You've got a lap time of 106, so we're looking at race time probably around the 45-minute mark tonight, Aiden. So it's not a very long race. And when you're pumping out laps, lap after lap after lap, and you're so focused on heat of battle, it's definitely flies by. As we've got Dean Reddit on screen in the 303 right sim racing entry. Just comes in a little bit too hot through turn 1 into turn 2. Almost collects the car and just runs it wide to play it safe. So already, mate, cars are going off track, and by the looks of it, it's not a fan favourite of many drivers.
Yeah, and we said this coming into the race, you know, there's only a couple of passing spots, so they either want to send it, and if you want to make a pass, you've got to commit early and make it decisive. I think some people have tried to win a little bit too early and make those positions. But if we look back, Dylan Pereira, who we mentioned in qualifying, he's up into P6. He's up 3 spots at the moment, and we've got him on screen at the moment. And he's doing an amazing job. It's exactly the same as what we were talking about Lasseth in the first round. He's doing an amazing job, and I was worried a little bit, I will say, in broadcasting. You know, is he... You know, coming in, there's really good drivers around here, or in this series. So to be able to get him to have a good head on his shoulders and see whether he can convert into the race. And yes, admittedly, we're only 5 laps into it, but at the moment, he's doing a stellar job for his first time out.
He sure is, mate, and he's made a couple positions already. He's up 3 positions. Couple big movers already off the start. Aiden, we've got Ben up 6 positions, just behind him. Colin Bruns in the 111 entry. He's up 10 positions. But the biggest mover out of all of them tonight, mate, is old mate Tommy Foster. He's up 14 positions. He started down in 36 position tonight, I believe. He's all the way up to 22. So already a fantastic start for Tom Foster. Let's hope he can continue the haul up the field and get a good result tonight. But back to the privateer, mate, the new gun. Feels fresh off the bat. He's around guys who have been sim racing for 12 odd months now, couple maybe a bit less, as we've got the car off on the right hand or left hand side of the screen there.
That was Peter Latham, mate. He's off the side. Yeah, he ran a bit wide there by the looks of it. I don't know whether that was self-inflicted or whether someone else helped him.
Oh, mate, it's a big braking zone into turn 1, so anything can happen coming into that corner, and I know a lot of people overshoot. It's a big trail braking corner, that one, so you don't have much.
Oh, we're too wide there.
Too wide coming through the track.
That is really bad place to be too wide. You're going literally over the top there, and your car gets really light over the top. So the driving of those drivers to be able to keep those cars on the track was amazing there.
Tommy Foster with the drive of the night so far with that move. He is doing a fantastic job to wrestle that car, but he is getting absolutely pounded by the two Goodyear Autocare Warana supercars here as he comes down on the inside, moving to turn one here, up on the inside, hard on the brakes, and he has it done nice and clean. So that is Mr. Craig Casper up on the inside and securing that position for 22nd. Now Foster's got to deal with the next car, which he makes that look nice and easy.
And sorry to cut you off, Matt. We look at Kyle Booth. He's missing. Oh,
no! He goes.
But we'll have to go back and look at the replay. But if we look at Kyle Booth, where his car was, he's missing a rear wing, so that won't be hard to drive. Won't be easy to drive.
Yeah, no, hard to drive. Well, that's the thing, mate. iRacing really needs to nerf these cars because that's funny enough. 99% of the time, these cars go quicker without a rear wing, as we've got a Dragon RC entry spinning Mr. Foster around there, and the Coghlan Engineering or the E1 Sim Racing entry gets caught up in the middle of that also. So that's bad news for Foster. He had such an amazing start there. As we've got Mr. Raccanello out on screen at the moment, coming down the main straight into turn one. And, mate, this is probably going to be my talk for the night, is turn one, because you've got such a long braking distance. You're unloading the car on the left-hand side as you turn in not once but twice into the corner. It's a big application sort of at the start and towards the middle of the turn there. And then you trail it right into turn two. So that's going to be the talk of the night. There are a lot of drivers that we've already seen have gone off there tonight, Aiden. So it'll be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, and you are unloading the car on the inside coming through one and then into two, but it's really important you get on your brakes when the car's straight, because if you're unloading the inside, when you're getting on the brakes, it's going to want to put all the weight on the outside of that car, which is going to exaggerate your braking distance to allow your car to rotate into the apex. So sometimes it might be worth just sacrificing a little bit through turn one to brake into turn two. But it depends on how the driver feels. But then the tyre wear, the harder you're going to drive it in there, your tyres are not going to be able to maintain that. So, but yeah, it's definitely a hard section of the track, because you're at 260, 270 kilometres an hour going through a left and then trying to brake, transition down 4 gears and then turn into the left. So yeah, it's going to be fine to see, or interesting to see how they're going to do that. And that is a passing spot. And now we go to a replay.
Mr. Lagarde from E1 Sim Racing takes the whole front end of that Holden ZB Commodore off. Just missed what happened there, so that's a bit unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can make it back to the pits without impeding on the race too much there. So that's a bit of an easy spot to go off in down there. Again, you're up in 4th gear there. You drop back down to 3rd, clip it back into 2nd and turn it in on the apex with the little bit of trail braking. So another little bit of a hard track to get through down there.
I definitely agree that it has to be one of the hardest points. The fastest point on the track, the biggest braking zone on the track, and the biggest load on the car that's going to transition through that triaxle. So definitely the hardest point of the car, hardest point of the track. Through there where we just see Damien coming through now, that's another hard point, because there's a really big dip through that right-hander. You need to make that apex. If you don't, it can push wide. And just in these cars, the quicker you can straighten them up, the quicker you can get on the throttle. So the longer you got to wait to get on the throttle is the slower you're going to go through the lap. And that doesn't matter whether you have tyre wear or you don't. So you need to straighten them up as quick as you can, point them off there, and go and flick a gear and go.
That's it, mate. And then it's due to the elevation change around here, it's very hard to get the full throttle straight out, as Dylan Lagarde's off to the track there, and by the looks of it, he's limping. So, mate, this could potentially bring out a supercar, should I say, a safety car. As if I try and get the words out of my mouth properly. As I'm watching Dylan at the moment, he's rolling down the hill, trying to get it going again. So I'll just keep an eye on that on my screen. But we've got young Rehan Leonage all the way down in 30th position. Absolute shocker of a start for him. He's got caught up in some early instances, and by the looks of it, his teammate's got a little bit of a front-end damage on that car. So hopefully he can stay with his teammate, get him to run him through a couple laps, get him up onto the back wing and let him by nice and quick.
Yeah, he's doing good to be able to come back, and he's just going to want to consolidate the best result he can at the moment. It's going to be hard for him, so he's just going to want to rotate and see where he comes up. But how about we are 12 laps in, and Daryl Hockey has had an amazing start to this race, an absolute amazing start to this race. So why don't we turn up the noise? And as of the next lap, he's going into this lap now, but of the next lap, let's turn up the noise and listen to his car and do a lap of Oran Park.
Good idea, mate. And while we get up to the straight here, guys, take you around for a flying lap on board our leader, Daryl Hockey. He's out to a 1.8 second lead at the moment over Shane Clark, so he's absolutely blitzed this field at the moment. Quickly running through the order of the top 10, we've got Hockey, Clark, Stevens, Noble, Pereira, Scholesy, Loggett, McCarthy, Nicky G, and Robert Braw rounding out your top 10 there. So Hockey doing an amazing job tonight, getting that car turned in nice and quick. Guys, turn up the volume and listen to a lap around Oran Park. How was that, guys? The crank up the volume lap with our leader, Daryl Hockey, for the Melbourne Hydrographics Depot Oran Park 100. Obviously, that is our round sponsor for this one, Melbourne Hydrographics Depot. They do a lot of hydro dipping for all sorts of parts, for cars, helmets, you name it. So jump over their Facebook page, guys. Give them a like. Check out all the work that Steve does. Does an amazing job, and we'll always look after you and give you a friendly face to chat to also, as we've got Kai Sloggett on screen at the moment, getting tangled up here with our newcomer, Dylan Pereira, as Dill goes around the inside through the Yokohama Bridge. Now, what a move that was. That is not a place to have a too-wide battle going on there, guys. So that is some serious moves by the newbie and the privateer Dylan there. He looks to be on fire tonight.
That was a really serious move there, Matt. Like coming across the top there. Coming across the top, the car gets very light, so to be able to position on the inside and not have contact, that was amazing.
It was, mate. But he's got to watch those tyres, mate. It's currently still hot out on track. It's 51 degrees, so it's gone up since the start of the race as we move on into the afternoon here. It's currently 2:30 by the looks of it out on track. So afternoon sun, especially the Sydney sun, beating down on a black asphalt. That is going to really start impeding on these guys' tyres. So by the looks of it also, they'll be starting to come into their pit window. We're at lap 15 of the 8 here, Aiden. So don't be surprised if we start to see a few of the leaders peeling off into the pits to get that early pit stop and try and get that undercut on someone.
Yeah, the leaders, I don't think they're going to want to get the undercut. If you're looking at probably 10th to 15th back, they might want to do that, get the undercut. But then coming into the back end of the race, their tyres are really going to hurt for it. So it's all going to be dependent on how the driver feels within the car and how many laps he thinks he can get out. Like we said previously in the last two broadcasts, It's not about the quickest lap, it's about the most consistent lap. So if you're sitting in around 7th or 8th at the moment, even though there's a fair lead at the front and you're doing a consistent lap, if you can go a little bit longer on tyres and do a little bit shorter on your fresh tyres at the end, you're going to put your car in a really good position to be in control of this race at the end.
And by the looks of it, mate, according to my timing sheet here on my left, Daryl Hockey is in absolute control of this race. He is out in front with posting averages of a 107 flat. Now, that is on absolute rails around here. So he's definitely got control of this race. As we've got our chief race control steward, Anton Gilbert, joining us, mate. By the looks of it, we thought everyone got off to a clean start, but obviously not. Fill us in. What's happened, mate? 'Cause it's been absolutely full on.
Yeah, mate, listen, I'll tell you what, that was a pretty interesting first 7 laps. We were fairly fortunate there. The most incidents involving cars were fairly close to escape roads, so we've been able to keep the guys racing and hold them to a safety car for now. Mate, we've got car 79's faced the 30-second penalty. We've also got car 33 facing post-race investigation for basically taking 65 out of the race there. We've also got car 18 with a drive-through penalty for contact with 119 on lap 7. So listen, it's tight track and it's certainly fairly technical, and the guys are doing a great job. But unfortunately, if you put a bloke in the wall, we've got to take action.
Well, mate, you say a key number there. You say car 79. Now, that is the young Rehan Leonage, if I'm correct. So that is big news, guys. Rehan Leonage with a 30-second penalty. So obviously that was due to car contact, I believe, Anton?
Yeah, with car 911 on the opening lap there, and unfortunately, Mini Laz is also facing championship points for impeding car 111 in qualifying. So not his night so far, but listen, long way to go yet.
Oh, mate, that is unfortunate news for the young gun, but thanks for joining in with us, mate. Hopefully we won't have to have you back into the booth. Hope it's a little bit quieter as the race comes to an end, but amazing work as per usual, guys. Chief Steward Anton Gilbert joining us, giving us an update, and Aiden giving us some big news. Young Rehan Leonage with a 30-second penalty and possibly a post-race championship point penalty for impeding on qualifying.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for young Leonage. He got caught up in an incident earlier, which didn't help him, and then that penalty as well. Yeah, definitely not going to help his championship aspirations, but it's only one race out of a lot. So if he can just circulate and try and finish the best he can. But I'm looking back here, Matt, and I'm looking at Matthew Skulls. His last lap was a 107.21. His best is probably about 0.2 off the leader, but he is 5 spots up off his start, and we haven't even gone into the pit stops yet. So we don't know what's going to happen in the pit stops. So he's got a good car under him at the moment. So he might be one to watch coming into the back end of the race.
Well, as you say that, mate, we have Dan Stevens and Trent McCarty, a couple of the guys, and Dean Alessi in our top 10. So those boys have already pitted. They're in the pit lane now, transiting down to get some fresh fuel, fresh tyres on board those machines. So this is the start of the pitting, guys. This is where it's going to start getting interesting. A lot of guys are going to try and get that undercut, get that overcut. Try and make up half a second here, maybe a split second there. Take on a little bit less fuel than the guy in front of them. Try and get out in front of him and then fuel save later on in the race. So very hard if they have to do fuel save around here. It is a very, very difficult track to fuel save. You are constantly on the throttle. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. As we see another car coming, two cars coming into the pits. Daryl Hockey.
That's a really good move by Daryl Hockey. He's covering off the undercut. He's coming in early. He was leading, covering off the undercut, and he should be all right when he comes out. But we've got a replay coming here.
Young Rehan Leonage coming out of the pits. Does he let off the limiter too late and just smoke it up, or nah? He's He's waiting on cars, so he's doing the right thing. He knows he's a back marker. Obviously, a few quicker cars are coming through down the main straight there, so good etiquette by the young Leonage there. But as you said, mate, Daryl Hockey and our leaders coming into the pits there. It's actually one of, if not the trickiest pit lane entry you could ever have. You're coming off onto the main straight. You're on the racing line. You're flat to the board, trying to get up to speed, and all of a sudden you go, nah, I might pit this lap. As we see here, we might have a pitter. No, he comes out. It's on the racing line. You're flat beans, and all of a sudden you're hard on the brakes. Now the pit control line and the pit entry is no wider than the supercar. You've got literally millimeters down the side. There is no room for error. As we've got a car around track, if we can get a replay of that one, that was a scary moment right there.
Damien Cairns,
privateer, just gets a little bit too much rear brake. Oh, just overruns it a little bit, and then obviously gasses it on the grass. Wrong move, spins it round. That's not where you want to be seeing a car as you come around turn 2 there, eh? But back to what I was saying with the pit lane, you've got millimeters down either side of the car, and these cars aren't skinny. These cars are big berthers. They're wide, they're fast, they're heavy. Trying to pull that up into pit lane, it's, as I found out last night, it's damn hard.
Yeah, Matt, it's like driving it through two toothpicks, to be honest. It's you're coming off at probably about 200 kilometres an hour, clicking it into fourth and fifth down there, and then having to drop it back down into second and first. So it's like you got to modulate the brake to try and stop, but then at the same time you need to navigate your car through these two toothpicks. So it's very technical.
Yeah, and toothpicks is literally what they are. You've got two yellow cones sitting there on your pit control line. And as I said, there's millimeters between it. So trying to thread the needle through there. As we've got Andrew Johnson up on screen. He's had a big move at the moment. He's up 15 positions. He's still yet to pit. So obviously those new pedals are working for Andrew here. So let's see as he comes in. He lets the car behind him come through. Good, smart move. Obviously not going to bother racing here. Staying out for another lap. So obviously he's feeling good with those tyres at the moment, feeling good with his fuel. He'd be getting really low on that fuel as well. So, but again, the more that he stretches it out at the moment, the less fuel he's got to take. So he could be really racy come the end of the race here, Aiden.
Yeah, it looks like he will be, and that's what I mentioned earlier. It could be, but how much does he want to give away now? Because if you give away too much, it's okay to have good tyre wear and it's okay to have the best car. But if you're giving away too much to the people in front, it's okay catching them, but you got to pass them. So it's all about track position. You need to put your car in the right position. And we're just seeing the timing even out now. So it looks like Shane Clark's evened out again at the front. And sorry, I'm just looking. Bear with me. We've got Dylan Pereira in second. So I'm looking. It looks like to me they still haven't pitted at the front from what I'm looking at. So
no. So
Daryl Hockey's still your leader when he comes out. When the pits. Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to read and talk at the same time. Sorry. But yeah,
that's why guys can't multitask, mate. That's why we leave the multitasking up to the females.
Oh, mate, I'm trying to be too technical. But looks like Daryl Hockey will maintain the lead by the time these guys go into the pits. But yeah, back what you were saying, it's a real juggling act on when you take your pit stop, because do you want to give away 5 or 6 seconds on old tyres and have to drive through, or do you want to maintain your track position, race the people around you? So we're not in the car, but it's up to them.
No, that's it, mate. And again, back to pit lane, it's not short whatsoever. You've got a pit transit lane speed of only 50 kilometers an hour, Aiden. So you are literally almost at walking pace through there, and it's by no means a short pit lane.
No, definitely not. But the exit of pit lane's the scary part, because people are roaring down there at nearly 280 kilometres an hour into the left-hander. So, and you're coming out on the outside, so you need to make sure that you exit pit lane correctly, because it can just make one bad move and no fault of your own, and all of a sudden just get into someone, which no one intends to do. But you can see there where you see the NTS car behind, he's trying to wait to be able to exit pit lane, whereas that's not exactly what you want to do. Like, yeah, you do want to do that because you don't want to hinder anyone's race, but you do want to come out there as quick as possible. So it is one of those tracks which is really weird to transition, not only on the racetrack, but also through pit lane.
As we've got Shane Clark coming into the pits at the moment. So Dylan Pereira stays out for one more lap. He's obviously feeling comfortable in those tyres. His lap times are up at the 107.13. So he's feeling comfortable in that car, Aiden, at the moment. So the young gun at the moment, the newbie, I should say, the privateer, is put on a very good showing at the moment. He's showing the boys, look, this is how comfortable I feel in my car. This is how long I can run it. As Shane Clark's now coming out of the pits, I'll see where he drops down. He's down into 6th position. So down 3 spots from where he started. But back to the privateer. He's got to be getting onto low fuel now and wanted to change those tyres.
Yeah, I'd suggest in the next lap or two. I'd probably also suggest this lap he's going to want to come in. Otherwise, that undercut's going to hurt him too much. So it'd be good to see him and watch to see what he does, because I think he's going to come in this lap or the next one, to be honest.
Well, Daryl Hockey, our official race leader, down in 3rd due to the boys Dylan Pereira and Max Losh still haven't pitted. So Daryl Hockey is officially your race leader at the moment. He's out nearly 2.5 seconds over the man Dan Stevens behind him. And by the looks of it, mate, he is on fire with these new tyres. He is absolutely on fire.
Yeah, Daryl Hockey at this stage, if he keeps his head in it, I think he's got this covered. I think Dylan's left this too long. He's too much hurt to his tyres, and as I've said previously, track position is key. So he's going to have to work his way back through the field. He definitely does have the pace, but I definitely reckon Daryl's got this one in the bag if he can keep his head between his shoulders and rotate and just keep hitting his points. But really impressed to see what Dylan's done tonight. Here we go. He's in the pits now. Oh, I thought he was. Oh,
one more lap. He has got to be running on the smell of an oily rag here, folks. Dylan Pereira stays out for another lap. So that's surely got to be hurting him. Surely got to be hurting him.
If I was a driver, Matt, I reckon this is too late. You're only 11 laps from the end. You needed to get in a little bit earlier, because it's okay to be there, but you need to make the passes. And when you're making passes, you're also burning up tyres. So really good driving by him, but I think the strategy's gone a little bit too long, which is unfortunate, but it's been an amazing drive by him, and he'll finish up in the top there somewhere. Well,
according to my timesheets, mate, he's actually the fastest car out on field at the moment. Actually just behind Kyle Hall. He's the fastest driver in the top 5. So he's doing an amazing job here out in the front. He's coming around to pit lane now. He's come out of the last corner on my screen. If we can just flick it, here he goes. He's in the pits. This is do or die time for Dylan Pereira. He is only going to be taking on a small amount of fuel here, folks. He is going to be wanting to punch out qualifying laps, and boy, was he quick in qualifying. Aiden?
Yeah, we'll just we see car 074 coming up now, and we got to watch and see where he gets him if he does coming out. But Dylan has just stopped, so he's not going to be able to come out in front of him. But this is where, can he make those tyres for the last 10 laps and drive 10 qualifying laps to catch and make the pass?
Oh, he's in transit, and he's been close to the pit lane entry, so you'll be coming out on your screen any minute now as he gets rounded up by a couple of the cars. He's down in 6th position, so he's up 3 spots from where he started, Aiden. So that's not a bad drive so far. So he's on fresh tyres. All these other guys, you've got Noble, Clark, Sloggett, Stevens, Hockey, they all pitted 4, 3, 4, 5 laps earlier than as Dill on my timing sheet just moves up another position. So already up into 5th position around Sam Noble. So already wanting to make time as he's just coming out on cold tyres. So definitely going to be one to watch as we round out the race here, guys. Lap 28 of 38, 11 more to go as we start nearing the end. My ears are lighting up with race control comments at the moment. There's people asking for safety, race control everywhere at the moment. So few incidents happening. We might have our Chief Steward, Anton Gilbert, coming back with us later on. Aiden, it's coming down to the nail biter, mate.
It definitely is. I was saying that Dylan's strategy was probably not what I would have done, but looking at what they're doing at the moment, he's on for his podium in his first one out, to be honest. It's about track position, but I think with his tyre wear and everything, he can make the pass. Darryl, I think, has done an amazing job tonight. He's just driven that car absolutely amazing. He's hit every point, every braking point, every turn-in point. He's been absolutely faultless. But now we see...
Shane Clark, just I was watching on my screen, mate, so... Shane Clark just ran a little wide here and gifted Dylan that position. So Dylan's now up into 4th position. He's one position away, but he's one position, or should I say one position away from getting a podium here. But the next driver, car 408, Kai Sloggett, he's not going to be an easy driver to pass here around Oran Park, I don't think.
No, mate.
Oh, my He's just come around the inside. What a move by Dylan Pereira. Those brand new Dunlop tyres have paid off for him. And he's now checking out from Kai Sloggett. He's now hunting down Dan Stevens as he goes around on my screen. Goes around the E1 Sim Sports driver.
Here we go again.
Here we coming up the inside. What a move by the privateer. He really knows how to steer this driver, as on my screen, hang on. On my screen, he's come to a... He's crashed.
Oh, no. That's terrible for the young man.
What's happened here?
Oh, he's got a lot of... Oh, no.
They've launched a safety car for some reason. I've got Chief Steward in my ear on the server. Just...
It looked like he was involved in that, though, Matt. It looked like his car was crabbing a little bit.
Yeah, no, car 18 got a tow, so maybe our director, JP, can bring up a replay of that. But from what I'm hearing in my ear, Aiden, is car 18 had called for a safety car, but not only that, Dylan had to redress positions because the safety car had been called already. So...
Oh, that's really hard.
That's a little bit, yeah. We'll have to just wait for Anton to pop in here and give us the word. But we've got 8 laps to go of the Melbourne Hydrographics Depot Oran Park 100 here for the Goodyear Autocare Warana V8-T2 E-Series. Say that 5 times really fast, Aiden.
I'd rather not, mate. You're doing a great job of that. So you just keep doing that.
It's coming down to the dying laps here, and we have a safety car. So safety car is going to be out on track, I reckon. What would you say, Aiden? 2-3 laps maybe? So that puts us with, 5 laps to go?
Yeah, it'll be 2 laps, so it'll be a 5-lap sprint. Really disappointing at what just happened then, because that was going to really shape up to be a race to the end, and I think that was going to be some of the most amazing racing we've seen all year. But in saying that, we're watching the guys at the front now, and they're all now reformed in behind each other. So they're all going to be going for it. So don't be surprised we see another safety car. But it's been a great race either way. It always has been for the first 2 rounds, and the 3rd round hasn't failed to disappoint.
So big news. Sorry to just drop the conversation there, mate, but big news. My timing screen, the privateer, the newbie, Dylan Pereira, all the way down in 25th position. So he's obviously copped the drive-through penalty. Safety car must have been called already. He obviously didn't hear it. He's obviously overtaken some cars. the redress would have been from what we saw was him slowing down. So that would be why he had slowed down, was to try and redress those positions and try not to get that penalty. But race control weren't so lenient, gave him the drive-through penalty, as we've got now Craig Schultz out on track in the Goodyear Autocare Warana Lamborghini GT3 safety car. And, mate, I think it's the first time we've seen it all season nearly, and boy, does it look beautiful.
Mate, what a beautiful car, but really unfortunate to get that penalty for him for passing under yellow, which I think it would have been. Sometimes iRacing does that. It happened to me last night in my race, and you don't know why, but yeah, look at that car. Look how beautiful it looks. I wish I had that in my garage.
Don't we all, mate? And the man, the director who painted that and designed these safety cars for the broadcast guys, for the main sponsors of the series, he's done an amazing job. And that purple, when it hits that right light, just absolutely pops. So hats off to him. Hats off to, I'll even give the director JP a big shout out here, guys. He doesn't get mentioned a lot in the broadcast. He does an amazing job. He works hours and hours and hours, sometimes in the middle of streaming 5, 6, 7 nights a week. So he does all this work just to bring you what you see at home. So big thank you to JP for doing what he does and making not only just one series of Super Series, which runs at Tuesday nights, but he also the Goodyear Autocare Warana as we go green as Daryl Hockey gaps the field once again. What an absolute flying restart by Daryl Hockey from Middle Finger Racing. Shane Clark, as he comes on screen now, down in fourth. He's got a lapped car in front of him. By looks at it's the A1 Sim Racing of Dylan Lagarde. Hopefully Dill pulls out of the way, which he does, so he can get underway and around. Mate, Daryl Hockey, he's already out to a second lead over Dan Stevens. What an absolute flying restart. He obviously caught the whole field by surprise there.
Yeah, I sort of thought from watching him he's going to have the race pace. He's had it all night. He's led nearly every lap. He's driven absolutely flawless. So, like I said again, keeps his head on his shoulders, keeps going around. He's got this one in the bag. It's been an absolutely stunning drive by Daryl tonight, and he should be really proud. Like I said, it's not over until the lady sings.
Fat lady sings, yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say the fat lady sings because we've got to be democratically correct. But yeah, he's driven amazing tonight. Really disappointed with some of the other things, which has happened to some drivers because it was going to make it really good, but that happens. But I'm still interested to see Michael Scholes because I still thought he was going to be up there and come in. He might have got caught up in something. But Kai Sloggett's done an amazing job too. He's come off a bad run for the last week as well. So he's done good to come back and be able to just consolidate a nice position in this race for the championship.
That he has, mate. That he has. And I believe memory's not serving me great tonight, mate. It's already been a long week at work, so memory's a little bit flat. But I believe it's a first, not only podium but first place for Daryl Hockey this season as well. He's currently down in 7th position in the championship, so this is going to give him a nice big buffer coming into the next round, which we head to Montreal.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how the points at the end of this end up, because the top two in the championship have not really had a really good race tonight. They're not really anywhere. So where the points line up at the end of this, it's going to be really, really interesting. And I reckon Daryl's going to make a big jump in the contender for the championship. Don't be surprised at the end of this in points that he's pushing the top three.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one, mate. He's going to be pushing top three. And don't forget, guys, that for pole position, they get a bonus 5 points. And not only for pole position, but for having a clean race. What we mean by a clean race is staying out of trouble, getting a 0x for 38 laps, having no incident points whatsoever incur throughout the whole race. We award them with another 5 bonus points. That just gives them a bit of an encouragement to get a little bit of clean driving out on track. It makes it not only good for the broadcast, but it makes it good for the boys out on track. They get to love it more and more as they go around and around these tracks. So there's no pushing and shoving. There's no punting everybody off into the wall. So just a little bit of an incentive to get the boys to race a bit cleaner, as we've got Paul Gerlin out on screen at the moment in the JP SimShed entry. And he's being hounded by the moment by Mr. Kai Booth. No, I think we might have a... Who's that behind him? I can't tell. There's Kai Booth on screen there, so in the Goodyear Autocare Warana Esports entry, number 110. As we jump on board now with a 888 of Shane Clark. And funny enough, Shane Clark's running the 888 number. The record holder around here in the VT Commodore with a 208. A 208 flat. That's right, 2 seconds slower than what these guys are running. In a VT Commodore, 208 flat is the man himself, Craig Lowndes, who used to run the 888. So there's a little bit of history for your Wednesday night, guys. But Shane Clark steering the Melbourne Hydrographics Depot entry to a nice 4th position here as we come across the line with only 2 laps to go here at Oran Park. Aiden, quick recap of the race from you, mate, before we get on to the final lap. What are your thoughts of it, mate?
Oh, it's been an amazing race, Matt. Unfortunate for a couple of the other drivers that are at the top. Unfortunate for the young privateer that came in tonight. He was definitely on for a podium. But what I'm really interested right now is Shane Clark. This is for the podium. Is he going to try and get that podium, or is he happy to sit in 4th? I looked at his relative last lap and he was quicker than the guys in front. So, but a recap of the race, it was just like the race last night in the other series. It's been an absolutely stunning race by everyone involved. Great clean racing. It's always come down to the end, and great to be a part of it. Great to be a part of the broadcasting team or commentary team for JP SimShed and all the sponsors. So let's go down and bring the last lap home.
All right, well, last lap, we'll go to our leader, Daryl Hockey from Middle Finger Racing, as he brings you around the last lap. He has run an absolutely flawless race, got out to an absolute flyer, gapped the entire field by 3 seconds. Then safety car came out. Here we thought safety car breeds safety cars. Not in this case. He got an absolute blistering restart and blitzed the field again. He's now out to a 1 second lead over Dan Stevens, which is his teammate by the looks of it. They're both in the same entry. I'll just get that confirmed on my screen here. Yep, both from Middle Finger Racing. And Kai Sloggett, Middle Finger Racing. So how's this, Aiden? They're coming across the finish line. We've got Daryl Hockey, position 1, Dan Stevens, position 2, and Kai Sloggett, position 3. So let's have a watch, boys and girls from home. Let's see if they do a bit of a formal finish here. I don't think they will. They're a little bit under pressure. Nah, they won't. Shane Clark out in the background there. But Middle Finger Racing take out the podium. It is a Middle Finger Racing locked out podium tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with your winner, Daryl Hockey. An absolute superb drive from that man.
Superb drive from him and a superb drive from the team. 1, 2, 3 for a team any night of the week or any day of the week is amazing. Those guys did a great job, so they need to hold their head up high and be very proud of what they achieved tonight, because it's not often that happens. So that's going to give them a lot of confidence going into round 4. So really really good job done by those guys, and yeah, that was really good. So they're going to go into the next round putting their head up high, but there's a lot of people behind them that are nipping at their heels wanting to take that off them. So we go to another track next week, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's right. We're it's obviously the track for the formal finishes and team lockouts at the moment, mate. We've got our V8 Super Series from the Nationwide Tracking Systems. That gets run on Tuesday night, guys. Same time as well, 7:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time or 8:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. As we've got Daryl Hockey coming over the start finish line, ready to burn some rubber. So we'll keep an eye on Daryl Hockey, you guys. We won't bring up any relatives as our camera changes, and we'll let him put on a smoke show for you guys. But as I was saying, Aiden, Oran Park must be the formal finish track. Because last night we had the boys, Lassus Leonage and Alex Court in the Nationwide Tracking Systems V8 Super Series. They had a formal finish 1 and 2. So it's obviously the track for it, mate. The boys from Middle Finger Racing have done an amazing job. But burnouts are starting to be concluded here as Daryl Hockey throws it into a nice little loop there. We'll bring up the unofficial results for you guys at home while we wait for the boys to jump up into the booth here and have a bit of a chat and let us know how the race is going. Bear with us, boys and girls. It's
Matt, you're exactly right, though, with the form finish. It was completely amazing last night with the form finish. I'm sure those guys would have done it tonight, but they had Shane right on the back of them, so they just wanted to make sure that they locked it out. But here we go. We've got the official results, and Matt, you take us through it.
Daryl Hockey, our race leader from Middle Finger Racing, taking out first positions, just over a second to his teammate Dan Stevens, and then 1.2 seconds back to Kai Sloggett. So Middle Finger Racing, lockout 1, 2, and 3. Shane Clark from the Melbourne Hydrographics Depot down in 4th there. Sam Noble down in 5th. Matty Scholes in 6th. We've got 7th Mitch Campbell, Trent McCarthy down in 8th. Dean Alessi in 9th. And our mate Nicky G, the chief steward for the Nationwide Tracking Systems V8 Super Series, rounding out your top 10. Don't be afraid, guys. There is a few Fords up there tonight. It is a Holden dominant field in the Goodyear Autocare Warana series this round. So good to see a few of the Fords up top with Rob Brewer up there in 11th. We've got Dean Reddit, Vassal, Ben, Cairns, Hayden, Georgeson, Andrew Johnston with an amazing race up in 18. So those pedals must be working for him. Awesome race by that man there. Robbie Bradbury and Paul Gerlin. Interesting thing as well about Aiden, Andrew Johnston is racing from New Zealand. So he's currently 4 hours behind us. Kai Booth there out in 21st, David Nash, Tony Gaffer, Colin Bruns, all on the lead lap. Max Slosh, Peter Latham, Peter Kelly, Stephen Black, Todd Martin, all a lap down. And then we've got Craig Casper, 2 laps down in 30th, rounding it out there. Rehan Leonage, the big upset of the night, 2 laps down all the way in 31st position. Unfortunate for the young man there. Peter Antoniadis down in 32nd. We've got Dylan Lagarde from E1 Sim Racing, 5 laps down. Aaron Raccanello and Tom Foster. So, mate, that's the unofficial results for the race tonight as we bring in the drivers to the commentary booth. And it's a Middle Finger Racing party in here, mate. It's haven't had a lockout yet, but we'll start off with the race winner, Daryl Hockey, who had an absolute blistering race, mate. You led from pretty much start to finish. It's you got out to an absolute blistering start at the start there. You led the field by 3-4 seconds. Out came the safety car, grouped all you boys back up, and then on the restart, you just said, "Nah, catch it, boys. Try and catch me now."
Yeah, no, how easy was that, eh? Pretty good. No, mate, there's nothing easy about that. Qualifying lap actually come out of nowhere. Not joking, I just said to the wife before I did that lap that I didn't know if I could be bothered doing this tonight. But I'll give it a crack and then pull that out. So, yeah, I was pretty committed after that. Yeah, super effort by MFR all round. 1, 2, 3. It's real good for the boys and the team and the new sponsors that we've got on board. So, wrapped with that race, mate. Really good.
Well,
Aiden,
Daryl,
you asked a couple questions here, mate.
Daryl, it's Aiden here. That was an amazing drive, mate, all the way through practice and qualifying. It was really good to watch. What I know that you said, and it's like me when I'm racing, I talk to the wife and do all that type of stuff. But What do you think it was? Was it something about this track that just made it easy for you and just made it happy, like for you to drive around to be able to do that consistently because you were a class above?
No, well, to be honest with you, mate, for the first 2 rounds of the series, I put in a fair bit of practice and had a fair go at it, and I was where I wanted to be, but always want that little bit more, I guess. Honestly, mate, this week I did not turn one single lap in practice. This is the first session I've been in since last Wednesday, so. This all took me by surprise, mate. I just had the pace here for some reason. Obviously, agree with the track. So,
Yeah, and Daryl, I can actually understand that because sometimes when you're more relaxed and not putting too much pressure on it, you drive better because it just slows everything down and you're not overdriving it. But anyway, it's been an amazing job by you. It was great to see what you did tonight and hold your head up high, mate, because that was really well done.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. And bring on the rest of the season. Pumped.
That's it. Dale, we'll get back to you, mate. Hang around. We've got about half an hour to talk before the broadcast wraps up. So stick with us, mate. We'll go to our second place sitter, Dan Stevens, mate. Another middle finger racing car on the podium. I don't really know many questions to ask you boys at the moment. I'm sort of lost for words and a bit shocked. How was the race, more or less?
Have to say is, yeah, boy.
A little bit of Shane Crawford going on there, mate, is it?
Thing is, like, after last week's round, I had a bit of a disaster one. Some things did happen I did not agree with, but we won't go there kind of thing. But just to turn it around tonight is just, Daryl might have come first, but I reckon I came first as well tonight as well.
Yeah, Daniel Aiden here, you did really well in round one, and then round two wasn't so good, and then you've come back and delivered again in round three. So that must feel really good to be able to just consistently have that result for you and your team.
Exactly, mate. Daryl was above everybody else. Obviously tonight, he that win was his. I wasn't going to pressure him at all. I let him know that the win's his. He was fastest in quality. He's been out front the whole time. There's no way I'm going to take that away from him. I was quite happy to sit back in second place. We work as a team at middle finger racing. It's nobody is above anybody else. But tonight, Daryl was above us all.
Yeah, sorry, Matt, to cut you off. That's really good to hear that you all work for a team. But at the end of the day, everyone's vying for a spot, and there were people chomping at your heels the whole time. So the fact that you've got a 1, 2, 3 means that you were better on the night. So you should all hold your head up high.
Oh, for sure, mate. We do definitely.
Stick with us, Dan. We'll get back to you, mate. Superb drive out there in second place. Down to our third place sitter on the podium here, Kai Sloggett. He got absolutely hounded by Shane Clark from the Melbourne Hydrographics Depot entry. Kai, the pressure that Shane was putting on you was tremendous, especially in the closing laps there, last couple, 2-3 laps there. How did you manage it, mate, especially in the old tyres?
I had an eye forward and an eye in the rear tonight at that last stint, but I just tried to keep hitting me markers. I knew he was stronger than me in the first sector of the track, but after that, I just hit me markers and try not to hit Dan and keep him behind us.
Was there a bit of little bit of team orders, or Dan's faster than me, I'll let him sit in second, or was it on for young and old? Because he did say that he let Daryl take out the win tonight. He was faster, but did you sort of just let Dan go ahead of you, mate, and just try and hold off the Shane Clark there in fourth, or were you trying to get past him?
If he made a mistake, I would have definitely went past him. But like Dan said, we're all that team. We're all in here for each other. So I knew I was faster in some sort of the tracks, but I was happy to finish third, mate. So yeah.
Good stuff. Aiden, you got anything for Kai?
No, Kai, just all I got to say is a good drive, mate. I know you've had a hard round previously and whatever, but you've come back and you just continually come back. You're always fast. You're always at the top. We always expect you to be at the top. And from commentators, it's really good and enjoyable to see you race, and to see your team come 1, 2, 3 tonight is really good to commentate on. So well done to all of yous, and we'll look forward to commentating next round because I'm sure you'll be at the top again.
No.
Boys, we're wrapping up here at now. What are we? We're 45k southwest of Sydney here at Oran Park. We're wrapping up here. We're flying across the waters over to Canada to Montreal, doing a bit of an American stint over there for quite a while. So obviously we'll look to the next round. We're at Montreal. Is it a favourite of yours? We'll start with Kai. Is that a favourite of yours, mate, down at Montreal there?
Yeah, it's a good track. I'm just trying to keep consistent, so we will all be in the practice rooms this week, next week. So hopefully we get a good.
Yeah. Looking for what? Any favourite bits of Montreal for you? I know Casino Straight and Wall of Champions. You're coming in there flat out in 6th gear. Bounce off the limited for a split second before you bang it down gears and throw it over the curbs. That provides a lot of entertainment. Does that scare you a bit coming into the Wall of Champions, or one that you're pretty confident in?
No, yeah, pretty confident. A lot of us MFR guys are, on here doing more than we should, so we should be right.
And we'll go to you. Oops, sorry, Aidan, you go, mate. I'll let you go.
Sorry, Matt. I'll just jump in. We'll go back to the 1, 2, 3 for tonight. So, Daryl, is there anyone you want to thank for tonight? Any sponsors or anything that you want to chuck a shout out to?
Yeah, mate, for sure. Yeah, first of all, MFR for bringing me on. Been with MFR for a couple of years now, so I appreciate them bringing me on. Yeah, also Liquid Molly, a new sponsor of ours. Absolutely wrapped to have them on board and makes the cars look really good with delivery that Dan from Virtual Car Art, another sponsor of ours, has done. So, yeah, WP Concrete. Yep, I'm sure there's going to be more, but I can't remember. Dan will get them out.
So, Dan, any extras you want to say thank you to or anything you want to add to?
Yeah, mate, I'll just continue the list we got. It's just Snap-on Tools, Blacktown, and Aussie Signs and Designs, and just you guys for the broadcast and JP for putting all this on, and you guys do a great job, and a big ups to MFR.
Yeah, like I say, thanks to you guys too for doing what you do. It's come along really good. And also just a quick shout out to Shane. He was right on me there in that for the first bit of the race. So he kept making me run wide down there in turn 1 or turn 2 in a sense. But once I sort of got behind me, I could hit that apex a bit better. And so, yeah, good on you, Shane. It was a good race, mate.
And Kai, last of all, anyone else you want to add or anyone else you want to thank?
Those boys covered it all, mate. So just the usual great series to be a part of, and look forward to next week.
We'll go back to what we were talking about with Montreal, boys. Now, I believe it was up to Dan with this one, mate. It's a personal favourite of mine, Montreal. I didn't get to race it last season with the boys, so I'm looking forward to it next week in the Nationwide Tracking System Super Series. Are you looking forward to Montreal with for the Goodyear Autocare Warana series, mate?
Yeah, mate, I actually quite like that track. I think it was last week. I was actually in another series. I was in the Legends around there and thoroughly enjoyed it. So it's going to be a bit different than the old V8, but I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, it's definitely a tricky one, mate. It's you're trying to throw 650 horsepower from big 650 horsepower V8 supercar down Casino Straight, and then try and slow it up and throw it over 2 curbs, which you don't have much room for error when it comes to slowdowns there. So, Daryl, you looking forward to Montreal, mate?
Yeah, I am. Again, I quite like the track. Just as you pointed out, it's got some killer slowdowns on it that you have to look out for. So watching other series race there throughout the week, they're all having troubles there. So I'm sure it'll be no different. But yeah, mate, looking forward to it.
And looking forward into the season, guys. We're moving from Montreal, then we head off to Sonoma, and then a fan favourite, which I believe everybody it's a fan favourite for, is Watkins Glen. So it's 19 laps for you guys around there. So a little bit of a short. It seems short, but it's the full track. You boys looking forward to that one?
Yeah, it's a challenging track. I've done it before in the Cup cars, the NASCAR cars, and they're a handful. So if I can get around there and them, I think I can get around in the V8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what it's all about in the Cup car, mate, around there. So if you can pull one of these around there, you'll be doing a good job.
I like the track as well. I've done a few NASCAR races around there as well with Kai, and it's a one to look forward to, that's for sure.
Yeah, same. I quite like Watkins Glen. Always have good battles there. So, yep, bring it on.
And then we head off to Sebring, then Mosport, and then we tighten back up. We go from a few open tracks here, boys, to tightening right back up to Lime Rock. Then we head off to Interlagos, and then a big one, which I sort of want to throw in the bin already, but we all have to race it, is Charlotte Roval. Now, it's not a round and round in circles, that one, boys. We've got the infield to manage. Have you guys raced around there before? How do you find it?
Been around there quite a bit in a cup car. So yeah, again, if you can handle one of those around there, it'll be a bit of an adaptation to the V8. But yeah, I don't mind the Roval either.
I've done a few events there in the Cup car as well. The track is brutal. You get it wrong and it's over.
All right. Kai, what about yourself, mate?
Yeah, it should produce some good racing. I don't know how many people have been on the track, but or even done match practice there, since it's not a V8 track. But yeah, it should be interesting.
And moving down there, we then head over to the UK, guys, for Donington and Silverstone. Few tricky tracks over there. Then we jump back over to the States to Road Atlanta. And then we've got Spa, Brands Hatch, and then we finish off with the big mountain itself, Mount Panorama. But the big talk of last night's broadcast, boys, was that we've got two of the Australian tracks in this series, but you already got, boys know already where I'm going to be going with this one. The third one's missing, no Phillip Island. So are you guys happy with that? A little bit upset? I know a couple. I think it was Sean McNamara, or it might have been Laz last night. Was rapt that Phillip Island wasn't on the list. But what are you boys? Are you guys a little bit upset?
Yeah, disappointing. But well, you can't please everybody, so you just got to roll with the punches. But I'm strong there. I don't know about the other boys in the team, but yeah.
I was actually quite surprised to not see it in the calendar, but I actually thought to myself, what track would I take out to put Phillip Island in, and I couldn't think of a track to take out, to be honest.
Yeah, I like Phillip Island. Done a fair bit of endurance racing there, so spent a lot of time going around there. Yep. I wish it was there. Yeah.
Aiden, mate, we've got a cracking series coming up with all these tracks, mate. I mean, we've got, as I said, Sonoma, Longbridge, Sebring, Mosport, Lime Rock, Interlagos, Charlotte, Donington, Silverstone, Road Atlanta, Spa, Brands, and Bathurst. What one are you looking forward to the most, mate, for watching these boys throw these big horsepower cars around?
In my opinion, every single one of them, because every single one that we've watched so far has been amazing. Interlagos will be good, and Sebring. I would have liked to seen Phillip Island too, like these guys said, but Interlagos, Sebring, any track these guys run, they're going to be competitive. It's going to be awesome. But at the end of the day, if we want to be all about it, I'm really looking forward to Bathurst. That's what we all look forward to, because that's the hardest track. That's the best track. It creates good racing, and but by the time we get there, the championship's going to be totally different to where we are now. We've had 3 different winners from 3 different starts, so we're looking forward to see how we keep going moving forward.
Yeah, mate, and you're exactly right with Bathurst. It's the one to win. It's the crown there. We've also got the triple crown for the endurance from the Melbourne Hydrographics Depot there, guys. So that one's going to be interesting to watch. Few super sprint rounds in this one as well, boys. I think from memory, the super sprints at Sonoma. So we've got a 2-for-1 deal in that race. You boys looking forward to it?
Yeah, man. something different.
Yeah, always looking for a change in the way it's set up. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. Yep.
it's going to be interesting on that one. So obviously, it's going to be a reverse grid thrown into that one. So obviously, that's going to be an
That's gonna be
interesting one to
carnage.
see. Yeah. It's going to be absolute carnage with the reverse grid. So, but in saying that, we've seen a few boys tonight have some massive drives through the field. So maybe the reverse grid might play dividends to them. They might be able to get some clean tracks. So who knows? Maybe you guys at the front might be the ones struggling out towards the back there, and you never know what's going to happen.
Anything can happen, mate, and that's what they always say about racing. You know, if it can happen, it will.
It's a lottery, for sure.
Was it as clean as last week? I heard over race control that he wasn't happy with all the stuff going on, as you can't really see what's going on as a driver. So, how was it from your guys' perspective?
We can't really comment on that, mate, because we're not a part of race control. There's stuff that's been broadcast that you can hear what race control said, but we don't see what race control does. So can't really comment on that. But just go back and watch the broadcast, and you'll hear what they said and what their things was about the incidents.
Watch out.
Yeah. So no, I mean, the series doesn't happen without you guys as well. So, big thank you to you drivers who take time, and we'll say it every week because it's true. It's you guys take time out of your night. And as Daryl said, he couldn't even be bothered racing tonight. But obviously, the missus encouraged him to get on. There might have been a couple beers waiting for him at the end of it if he won. So that might have been an incentive for you, Daryl, I reckon. But
I think you don't know more
He'd
life than the
definitely be 2 in by now. You'd have to be Daryl.
I just think you boys don't know my wife.
All right, we're gonna have to go across to championship points now and have a look at what the championship points are. So
unofficial, and look at that, Dale. You're out on top there, mate, with 425 points. So you've now taken the championship lead unofficially. I believe you qualified on pole 2. Was that right?
Yeah, mate. Yep.
Yeah,
Well
so
done,
an
mate.
extra 5 bonus points for you there, mate. So I'll put you up to 430 points there. You've got Sam Noble chasing down the lead there in second with 424. Matty Scholes with 421. Nicky G with 407. David Nash, unfortunate race for him tonight. Crashed out early. He's down in 5th position now with 404. Dean Alessi, 402. Kai, you're up there now, mate. 7th position, 400 points.
And Matt, look at what this has done to young Leonage.
It has. It's dropped little Leonage out of the top 10. So, Kai, Dan, you're up there, 400 points, tied for 7th position there. Trent McCarthy breathing down your back, only 2 points behind in 9th. And Jonathan Ben, rounding out the top 10 there. But the talk of the night, young Leonage copped the drive-through penalty early on in the race, dropped him down 2 laps. He's now dropped out of the running for the championship, but Aiden, still a long way to go, mate. We've got Gaffer in 11th, Leonage in 12th. Shane Clark, who finished 4th tonight, down in 13th with 352 points. Aaron Racanello. We've got Robbie Bradbury, Damien Cairns, Aaron Hayden, Max Losh, Peter Latham, and Robert Braw, rounding out your top 20 there, guys. Paul Gerlin, Booth, Georgeson, Sadler, Casper, Tommy Foster with an unfortunate turnaround during the middle of the race. He was having an absolute flyer. He's down there in 26th position with 286 points. Peter Antoniadis, I'm getting it right more and more here, Aiden. So I reckon we're on a roll here. He's down there in 27th position. It's with 284. 20 points behind him, Dean Reddit with Danny Vassal and Stephen Black rounding out your top 30 there, guys. Flick over to the next page. Bring up the back runners here. We've got Andrew Johnson with a good finish tonight after those new pedals rocked up with 210 points, 31st position. Philip Dalton, Dylan Lagarde, Colin Bruns, Peter Kelly, Todd Martin, Stephen Martin, your favourite entry, Aiden, the KFC, Mitch Campbell from SRT, 95 Sim Sports, and Craig Curry down there in 39th position, rounding out the field. So the championship's heating right up, guys. Daryl, mate, you've got the big target on your back now. You're out in front. You're leading the pack coming into next round. Going over to Montreal. So it's a tough track to throw these cars around. It's a favourite for some, not a favourite for many. So obviously keep it out front, keep it clean, extend that lead. But boys, thank you for joining us in the booth tonight. We'll start wrapping up things and getting everything concluded. Fantastic drive by all three. Middle Finger Racing lockout podium 1, 2, and 3 with a bit of a formal photo coming over the Yokohama Bridge. What more could you want?
Yeah,
Thanks-
good job,
thanks.
guys. Well done, Daryl. We put a lot of effort into practice this week. Well, Daryl didn't, so I don't know how he won. But anyway, let's see how we go next week. Good job, guys.
Boys, thank you for that. We'll let you guys go and we'll conclude this broadcast. Just a huge shout out to our sponsors. The main sponsor for tonight, the Goodyear Autocare Warana V8-T2 E-Series for the Melbourne Hydrographics Depot, Oran Park 100. We've also got Abruzzi Raceway, guys. Hit them up for any boots, gloves you may need for all your sim racing. We've got Blue Stampede Labour Hire and the track cameras. So we've got track cams for Gourmet. They're the ones that provide you with these stunning pictures, especially the one coming down the front straight, as you can see right now. So, Aiden, that concludes another action-packed, full-on night of V8s for these guys. You're looking forward to next week? I know I am.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Thank you for broadcasting or commentating with me again tonight. It's been amazing for another round, and thank you to SimShed Broadcasting for allowing me to be a part of it. It's been amazing. This is an amazing series. All the sponsors that you mentioned, again, everyone else get a part of that, and follow these people because this doesn't happen without them. But thank you for another night. This is an amazing series. Cannot wait to go to the next round at Montreal and see how we go and see how the drivers go.
That's it, mate. Thank you for joining me tonight. Well, guys, don't forget to check out SimShed Broadcasting on Facebook. Give them a like, subscribe, follow them closely because Tuesday night we've got the big guns. That's right, the Nationwide Tracking Systems V8 Super Series heading over to Montreal before the boys here in the Goodyear Autocare Warana V8-T2 E-Series follow them up on Wednesday night. So tune in both nights, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time or 7:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time to watch all the action. Thanks for joining us, guys, from Oran Park in Sydney. My name's Matt Davis, and good night.